I just built Battleship HMS Prince of Wales with Camouflage during the Malaya battle. Along all the ships I built so far, none of them wears a camo. Like many of you, I always thought camo painting technique is too difficult for me until I finished this build. So today I'm going to show you how I apply camo painting step by step. Before we can talk about painting, we need to build the ship. The kit I'm using is from Flyhawk, which offers excellent details out of the box. Some plastic parts even has photo etch level details in my opinion. After spending over 20 hours taking out all the parts and remove the nubs, I soon realized a problem. There are over 600 individual parts in this kit. Where am I supposed to keep all of this? Luckily, I have some containers lying around, so I gather all that I can find and store parts according to sections in the manual. I glue the hull and deck early so I have a solid platform to work on later. There are gaps at waterline and surprisingly at the stern, which will be taken care of with dissolved putty and some sanding. When that is done, the ship is ready to be put up for a dry fit, which doesn't give too much issues, and the quality at this stage is already impressive. Speaking of the kit, this deluxe version comes with 3 sheets of photo etch parts, metal gun barrels for all main and secondary guns, and some 3D printed parts. In order to get a clean cut, you need to remove the PE parts on a solid surface. The metal nubs can be removed with metal files. It certainly helped with better fitting later on. The number of PE parts is not as many as those super detail set, because it serves as add-ons to the already excellent plastic details. For railings that require bending, you can use the rolling tool, which comes with different radius. There are several leather parts which are extremely similar. I'll definitely mix them up without a label. Here is my solution. I took out the number plates from the sprue and stick them near the corresponding ladders. Now I only need to look at the numbers and don't have to worry about picking up the wrong part. This trick can be used on any parts that can be confusing, like these boat booms of various lengths. Next, I'm going to install some of the PE parts in place. Generally, I will install those parts which have similar color as the surroundings, so that I don't need to mask over the fragile parts. However, this approach will cause some trouble, which you will see in a few minutes. After the PE parts are done, I put together the ship one more time to make sure there's no interference. The PE parts fit nicely into the model, which is not surprising as a deluxe kit. The details are more refined compared to other brands, which means the parts are softer, but I had no issue with handling this build. If you want to push to the limit by adding even more PE parts, check out the super detail set from Shipyard Works. Next will be the most challenging step of this build, painting the camouflage. But don't rush to the spraying booth just yet, because the next few steps will make your painting process a lot easier. First, you will want to find as many reference diagrams as you can, either from websites, forums, or build photos from fellow modelers. For this build, I use diagrams from Mr.Hobby as well as Ship Bucket, because they offer more accurate colors than Flyhawk's instruction, and they provide more angles around the bridge. I have put links to both in the description. Second, from the diagram, you need to figure out how many colors will be used and in what sequence. Now, let me show you the sequence I took to paint the camouflage. The first step is to apply a layer of putty on all parts. After that, I painted more obvious places like the bottom, deck top, and funnel top. It's good to get these areas painted and masked in early stage, so that you can focus on the camo, and it makes it easier to grab the model as well. For the first color of the camo, I chose dark gray because it has fair coverage and relatively obvious shape. After a quick mix of paint, we are ready to paint. When painting, you don't have to be precisely on the boundary. because that will be taken care by the masking. Speaking of masking, instead of using masking tape, which is a nightmare on irregular shape, I used blue tack that are cut into small pieces for this job. I started by marking out some anchor points for reference and slowly expanded along the boundaries. Blue tack provides just enough adhesion and at the same time easy to manipulate with a pair of tweezers. When the boundaries are formed, I fill up the center area with more blue tack. The next color is light gray. Just like the first color, you can paint white because the shape is determined by masking. I think you can get the sense of the rhythm. Paint one color, cover the shape with blue tack, paint the second color, mask the shape, and the third, the fourth, and so on. Sounds not so bad, right? But I ran into an issue after I painted the fourth color. You can see the railing here where I'm pointing at is significantly thicker than normal, and there are tiny grains formed on the surface of the hull. To deal with that, I scrape off the paint on the railings with my tweezers, sand off the grains with sandpapers, and reapply the paint. I think there are two reasons for this. Number one, although the thickness of each layer of paint is insignificant, when doing camo painting like this, it can quickly stack up on the railing. Number two, I might not have diluted the paint enough so the paint gets dry mid-air and form these tiny grains on the surface. After the issue is dealt with, I move on to finish the remaining color, which is warm light gray. So far, I have been using the hull as a demonstration, but the procedure is the same for all other parts. The entire painting process took 50 hours, which is definitely more tedious than other ships with just one color. But if you can plan the sequence properly and focus on just one color at a time, it's actually not that difficult. My favorite step comes after the paint is dry. It's time to remove the masking. But this time, I'm a bit nervous. Is the method going to work? Let's find out. After brush painted some smaller details and installed the wooden deck, it's time to finally put the ship together. Overall, I will give the paint job a score of 70 out of 100 for a couple of reasons. 1. There are tiny leaking of paint through the gaps of blue tack because I stretch it too thin. Number 2. Some edges are not smooth as compared to using masking tapes. But completion is more important than perfection. There will always be issues with our builds, but that should not be the reason preventing us from trying something new. With the most challenging step out of the way, we are left with only a few more steps. I use metal grey from Vallejo and a piece of sponge to add some steel elements to the hull, where paint will start to peel off. I then washed all details using Mr. Weather Multi-Black to highlight the details. The corrosion effect is made by adding oil paints to areas like anchor, windows, and edges of armor plate. I also added some green paint along the waterline for the annoying algae. When the paint is slightly dry, I wash it with Mr. Weather solvent. The last step is to add riggings around both masts following reference photos, and a British ensign to finish this build. Before I end this video, I want to quickly summarize all key points for camouflage painting. You need to find reference diagrams and plan the painting sequence. Focus on just one color at a time. Use blue tack to shape the patterns. Be careful of leaking and make the edges smooth. In this video, I cover the most important parts of this 160-hour-long build. But there are more I couldn't talk about without making the video hours long. For that, I'm working on a separate video which documents the entire building process from end to end. I hope this video is helpful. Please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Like always, I will see you in the next video.